Thanks for joining us today. Our new video series, we're going to be talking about investing themes and trends. We're glad to come to you. This is a special episode, being our first episode, that it's at home. It's our pandemic episode to launch us off. We're really happy that we can still communicate with you, our clients, and still have this ability to do that. So I'm sporting my pandemic haircut, nice and long.
Me too, nice and long.
But today we're going to be talking about trends and trends that are accelerating because of the pandemic. So a lot of these trends are in place, things that we're interested in, and some things that are changing because of this pandemic, changing our behavior, and that potentially could create some opportunities in places to find some investment opportunities. So Sure. What are you seeing first, Scott?
So Chris, where I'm seeing the biggest change that's happening and accelerating is in the retail space, right, as we all know. So in the retail space, overall sales online used to be about 13 to 15%. Yeah. Because of the pandemic, it's now accelerated to about 25%.
Yeah, I've seen that retail, the e-commerce growth trend. I mean, it's been the most consistent, taking share away, and now it's just going parabolic.
It's huge. Yeah. And the thing is, like you just said, it's happening sooner than expected. Right. Now, that's not good news for the brick and mortar stores. I mean, that's really the end of many, many companies. Yeah. We're going to start seeing it, but that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. Another place where I'm seeing a big change, and we're all experiencing it being stuck at home, is in the hospitality space, more specific, restaurants. Yeah. The applications that are online now, either on your handheld device or on your computer, for you to call a local restaurant that you enjoyed eating at, you can do that now. You can just get it on your system, on your handheld device, like I said, or your computer, order and pick up, take away or take out, whatever you want to call it. That has really changed. It's keeping a lot of the restaurants in business, but that's really accelerating as well. Yeah. So it's going to change the way that we dine in restaurants in the future. Right. And so many of these applications are being tested in the e-commerce space, whether it's the restaurant space or retail. Right. They're really being battle tested right now, and they're doing wonderfully.
Yeah, I mean, you think about mobile payment systems. I mean, just all of the infrastructure that goes into that is interesting.
What do you see happening?
Yeah, so the area that I'm really interested in is this, and it's apparent today, the work from home trend. That it kind of always been in place. It's been come and go. There was a big trend to have everyone work from home and then bring everyone back. Open workplaces. I mean, we've been experimenting with the way people work for forever. But I think this move to home on this global scale and this big kind of test run is showing that companies can do this. So it changed the way companies think, and we're hearing it from CEOs on earnings reports right now that are still, their businesses are still operating and operating very well, and their employees are working from home. And they're still seeing good productivity. So really interested in the companies that enable that seamless move. So what allows employees to still communicate, share information, and still have that very highly productive workforce, but fragmented, not all in one place. It's also interesting what's going to happen to commercial space. And a lot of companies have been talking about they might not need as much space as they've needed in the past if people are working from home. So interesting trends, and definitely things that we're watching and looking for opportunities there. The other one that's a little bit further out, but definitely makes sense, again, we haven't really seen this play out, I'm going to watch it closely, but is residential properties. So forever the trend has been in urbanization. Right. People moving back to the cities, people wanting to be in the hustle and bustle, have a lot of people around them.
Yeah, it's been happening for years.
Right. So maybe now people are second guessing that, and maybe we see a trend back to suburbanization, people moving out of the cities. So that'll be interesting. Again, nothing necessarily out there that's been a huge indicator that that's absolutely happening, but it certainly could, and we're going to watch it very closely to find some opportunities there.
That's a big change.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any leadership anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, as far as leadership,
in the tech world?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of these tech companies that are doing well. And a lot of them are because they enable other companies to still operate, to still work. So those are the areas that we find interesting and looking for opportunities in.
Before we wrap up, there's one other space, and I think me and you were talking about it last week, the healthcare space.
Right.
You see a
Yeah,
lot
absolutely.
we're all familiar now with the word telemed,
Right.
where the physicians, we can't go into the office, so we kind of have to see them, they have to see us.
Yeah.
And telemed, that approach of not having to go into an office where there is a lot of germs, and also not going into the office saves time for the physician, saves time for us.
Yeah.
So I think that's another trend that's really going to change the healthcare space, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's definitely companies enabling that. A lot of them are really high flyers, so you know, got to be careful in that space.
Yes.
But it's interesting, and certainly looking for opportunities there, I think, is a smart place. Obviously, being careful.
Well, good chatting with
yeah.
you about this.
So thanks everyone for joining us. We could talk about some trends. This will be an ongoing series where we'll be talking about investment themes. Next week, we're going to be talking about a theme that was really popular a few years ago. There's been some news that's been happening there, but I think it's gone mostly unnoticed because of the big news that's happening right now.
Right.
But we're going to be talking about the pot stock space. So join us next time and learn some more.
Perfect.
Thanks.
And thank you for trusting us.
Thank you.